I am Christelle from Diabetes Strong. In this video, I'll be showing you my favorite insulin coolers. So these coolers can also be used for other types of medication that needs to be kept at a certain temperature, but since I use insulin, that will be my focus here. So this is going to be my opinion on them, the good and the bad. However, since these are my favorite coolers, I do think there are more pros than there are cons. And the biggest pro for all of them is that they'll keep your insulin at the right temperature, and they're all TSA approved. I'll be showing you 3 categories of coolers. So the first category looks more like your traditional thermos, but you'll see there's much more to them. The second category is more high-tech, and these coolers do not require electricity, a fridge or a freezer. And then there's a final category that's an option for those longer trips where you need to bring along a lot of insulin and supplies. Let's dive in. Let's start out with the For All family brand of coolers. So the For All family brand has a large variety of coolers, and they all look like traditional thermos, but you'll see there's so much more to it. First of all, they have a lot of different sizes. So you can see 3 different sizes here. I like the smaller one, this one, for shorter trips or day trips. It's super lightweight, and it will keep your insulin below 79 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's 26 degrees Celsius, for up to 16 hours. The temperature and how long it continues to cool for it depends on the outside temperature. This cooler is a 1-pen cooler. I, however, can fit my Levermeer pen as well as my Humalog cartridge and a few Afrezza cartridges in there. And all you have to do is freeze the cooling element. This is not an ice pack, so it won't ruin your insulin. Plop that into your cooler and you're good to go. The small cooler is priced as $29.99, and this is the cheapest one. Prices go up to $79.99 for regular coolers. It all depends on the size, and of course, the larger the size, the more insulin you can fit in there. Okay, but what makes For All Family's products really cool is that they also have products where you can attach these lids. So this lid will actually transform this cooler into a portable mini fridge. So when plugged in, this cooler will keep your insulin at 36 to 46 Fahrenheit, so 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, well, forever. And they also have this lid. So you see there's no cylinder attached here, so it's not the portable fridge. However, if you attach this to the cooler, plug it in, it will keep your insulin below 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so 26 degrees Celsius, as long as it's plugged in. So the actual temperature inside will depend on the temperature outside the cooler. And what's really unique about these 2 lids is that if the temperature starts to drop too low, it will turn off the cooling. So that means that your insulin will never get too cold either, so no frostbites. This lid, and including cooler as well, is priced at $139.99, and the mini fridge is priced at $199.99, and both also comes with a cooling element. In my opinion, the only real downside about these coolers are that the ones with the smart lids, they're a little heavy, a little on the heavier side. So if you're, for example, backpacking, something like that, it might not be ideal. Also, the smart lids might not be affordable for everyone. And then we move on to the next brand, that is Dison Care. And they have what looks like just another normal thermo, but of course it's not. If it was, it wouldn't be included here. So this is a Dison cooler that I have, and this one can hold up to 4 insulin pens. So what makes it a little different is, you can see here, it's the cooling element. It's the pre-filled element that comes, but you also get an empty cooling element. So let me explain the point of this. The regular cooling element will keep the temperature in the cooler below 77 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's 25 degrees Celsius, for up to 48 hours. So let's say that after those 48 hours, you can't get to a freezer, or you're out hiking, you're out in the wild. What you can do is then take the backup cooling element, fill that with cold water. Let's say you find a stream or you have access to really cold water, fill that up, dump that into the cooler, and it'll keep it below 77 Fahrenheit for another 12 hours. Another unique feature is this QR code. So you can see that here. There's a QR code. You can scan that QR code and you can then enter all your information, so your name, your phone number, your email. That means that if you lose it, somebody else can scan it and see who it belongs to. The QR code is a unique feature. I haven't seen that on any other coolers. This one that holds 4 insulin pens is $39.99. They also have a cooler that holds 2 insulin pens. That one is $69. And they have one that holds 7 insulin pens, and that one is $88. Overall, I think this is a really cool product. I would say the only downside is that the only way of using it is by using one of the cooling elements, and you might not always have access to cold water or a freezer. And now let's move on to a different type of cooler. And this has been a favorite of mine for years, and that is the Frio cooling cases. So you have quite the collection here. The coolers I've shown you so far all rely on cooling elements, electricity, and a freezer. Frio does not. So the way Frio works is there's an outer pouch, this is a colorful one, and in each of the Frio products is also an inner pouch. And in this, so in the pouch, are these little crystals. So these crystals work in the way that you submerge this in water, 5 to 10 minutes, the crystals will gel, and when they gelled, they'll keep a constant temperature. Frio won't cool as such. It's not going to keep refrigerator temperatures, but the Frio products will keep your insulin at 64.4 to 78.8 Fahrenheit, so that's 18 to 26 degrees Celsius for a minimum of 45 hours. In my experience, my Frios easily keep that temperature for a week, even more. It kind of depends on the temperature outside. And the beauty of it is that once those crystals dry out, all you have to do is resubmerge them in the water, 5 to 10 minutes, and you're ready to go again. You do have to follow a few guidelines for your Frio to work. So your Frio will not keep that stable temperature if the water can't evaporate from the crystals. So what you do not want to do is you do not want to put your Frio in a Ziploc bag, for example, or in the freezer or in the fridge. Simply, put your inner pouch, outer pouch, close it, drop this in your bag. The inner pouch might feel damp, but once you have it in this outer pouch, there's no dampness, it's all good. Frio comes in different sizes. There are some that are ideal for insulin pens, some for vials, there's even pouches for insulin pumps. They also come in different colors and designs. You can see some of them here. Also different sizes, I guess. Prices will depend on the design and the size. The regular pouches are just shy of $40, whereas the fancier ones, which includes these, goes up to $55. The only real downside of the Frio pouches is that they can't really cool down to refrigerator levels. They can only guarantee that your insulin doesn't get too hot. And then we have Breezy packs. See them here. So this is another no electricity, no freezer, no fridge kind of product. Actually, this doesn't even require water, so it's pretty much just a grab and go. The material in the Breezy pack will prevent your insulin from getting too hot, but it won't get to refrigerator temperatures. Depending on the size of the pack that you get, as well as how hot it is outside, it will keep temperatures below 86 Fahrenheit, so that's 30 degrees Celsius for 8 to 12 hours. 86 degrees Fahrenheit is the highest that we've looked at for any of the coolers, but per FDA, that's as high as we can go, so we should be okay. You know that your Breezy pack is still keeping the right temperature as long as the inside doesn't feel liquid. So I can't show that on video, but there's this material inside, and it feels very solid right now, so that means it is cooling. If it becomes liquid, it means that you need to recharge it. The way to do that is simply to have it in an environment of 77 degrees Fahrenheit, so 25 degrees Celsius, and the sides will re-solidify. If you're in a place that's warmer than that, you'll have to place it in a refrigerator. The Breezy packs are priced from 38 to 62 Canadian dollars, so depending on the size, which right now translate to 28 to 46 US dollars. I absolutely love that this product does not require electricity, it doesn't require water, it doesn't require a freezer, it's just grab and go. I will say that the biggest downside is probably that it only keeps temperatures at 86 Fahrenheit and below. Also, it's a little clunky because of the material. And finally, if you're out in a place where it's very warm and you don't have access to a fridge, you actually can't recharge it after those 8 to 12 hours. And finally, I wanted to show you my Sugar Medical insulated travel bag. Look how big this is. Actually, I haven't traveled with this one yet, but I have other Sugar Medical products, including this little baby that I love, so I wanted to include it here. I think it's a really brilliant option for longer trips. It's lightweight. It measures 10 times 8 times 5, and it has 2 side pockets that are both insulated, as well as a large middle compartment, I'll show you in a second, that's also insulated. It does not come with ice packs. You do have to buy those yourself if you want to use ice packs, but let me just show you the bag. So the side pockets here, I already opened it because it's just easier, the big middle compartment here. I have a month-long trip coming up in December, and I plan on using this for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this side up with insulin. And then I'm going to put the ice packs here because I don't want the ice packs directly on the insulin. I don't want it, get ruined. And then I'll put all of my supplies, all my Dexcom supplies, stuff like that in here. The travel bag here is $69.99, and of course you also have to get ice packs. If you want to use ice packs, look those up. You can get 2 refreezable ice packs at Target for $2.29. I love how roomy this bag is and how much stuff I can fit in there. But the obvious downside to me is that there's no guarantee that it'll keep your insulin at the right temperature. That means I don't think it's ideal for very hot or cold climates. I do, however, think it's going to be a great option for plane rides. And that was an overview of my favorite insulin coolers. I bet you have your favorites as well. If you do, leave me a comment down below the video. I'd love to check it out. And if you like this video, please also give it a like below. If you enjoy my content, if you'd like to see more from me, remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. That is that little bell. That way you'll be informed whenever I post new content. Thank you so much for watching.